He calls out to the doorman on the street. Sir, can you help me? It's Christmas and this is where I sleep. Is there somewhere you can tell me? He looks on, Nick's looking whack. He pretends he can't hear him. Starts to whistle as Cage crosses the street. Seems shocked Nick is there. Oh, how nice, 'cause it's another Nic Cage week for us in paradise. Oh, films twice. Nic Cage in The Family Man and Trapped in Paradise. Don't you? Is there nothing more anybody can do? Don't you? There must be something you can say. Okay, so this is Buddy Shotz, episode 191. We're getting closer to the elusive 200. But before then, it's old Saint Nick Cage week.
Young Saint
We're in the month of December, and things are getting naughty or nice.
It's a December to remember.
Yeah, December to Dismember, ECW, that fucking horrible pay-per-view. The Family Man and Trapped in Paradise. And, unlike December to Dismember, I don't think Bobby Lashley will overcome all the odds. So the poll for Trapped in Paradise, 100% no. But for the Family Man, we had some people that had seen it, 67% yes, and 33% no on Instagram.
Sounds about right.
That one's not too shocking because this one I remember back in the day seeing the trailer, and there was like a bunch of...
It was a big hit.
There was a bunch of... hype about that. Yeah, back in the day I remember that being kind of like a big deal back in the day, or because it at least had like some press behind it, which is shocking because I didn't see it back in the day. I saw Trapped in Paradise as a kid. I think we rented it.
So we're vice versa. We're opposites on this one because I saw Family Man
yeah.
and not Trapped in Paradise until just recently.
Yeah. Well, I was like a big Jon Lovitz fan, so I was like, I gotta see this shit. And rewatching it, I remembered a couple things about it, but not everything. So
really,
yeah. Also, for me, I thought one of these was going to be a complete like slog to get through, and it was actually kind of the opposite for me. So, but I guess we'll talk about that. What's your history? You said, well, I guess you already kind of talked about how like you had seen The Family Man.
Saw The Family Man at theaters. And I've seen it a few times over the years.
Yeah.
For various reasons.
Yeah.
And my goal is to watch every Nic Cage movie at some point, and I'm getting close.
Yeah.
So Trapped in Paradise was on the list. Finally caught up with it a couple years ago.
Yeah.
And I have some thoughts on both.
Hell yeah. Hopefully. Originally, I kind of wanted to talk about Trapped in Paradise first, but I kind of want to talk about Family Man first, personally. I don't know how you feel about it.
That's fine.
You're like, I don't give a shit. End this.
Family Man, directed by the disgraced Brett Ratner.
Well, he did, like, one good movie that I know of, at least. Like, when I looked on his IMDb, I was like, oh, I saw
Rush Hour?
He did Rush Hour, so, oh, that's cool. The rest of the stuff, I was like he had something recently that I was like, what the fuck is this? Like,
he's one of the most whelming directors I've ever seen.
As far as like,
not over or under, just like generic and
yeah. Sadly, I think that kind of for me extended to The Family Man when I watched it.
Yeah. Can I give you my my take real quick? Like, I think The Family Man has some really wonderful moments of heart. It has some nice humor in it, but it's mainly long and boring and super predictable. And especially like the last hour of it is like torture. It's tough to get through.
Yeah, I think it's a little like you said, I think you nailed it. It's long as fuck.
2 hours and 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And it feels like 3.
Well, the problem is, like, none of the side characters are good.
No.
Like, and as soon as I saw Jeremy Piven, I was like, this movie's gonna suck. He sucks.
Got him.
Well, he's like, I can't think of a single film that I've liked him in it, because he always just plays like the Joe Rogan character, like the dude bro, like. Yeah. And like he's Nic Cage's like best friend in his other life in this, and it's like, what does he add to the film? Like nothing. Like they could have, if they'd replaced that actor with like someone else, it would probably have been 100 times better. Like,
or just cut out the whole plot entirely.
But his character just is boring. Like, if they just had John Goodman or somebody that actually had heart in it instead of just some annoying character.
But what about all the scenes involving his business deals? Those were so riveting.
Yeah, they do a lot of that to like set up that he's like, this is essentially like fucking like Scrooge.
Yeah, Christmas Carol.
And I was like, fuck, I did it again. But I didn't know.
That's a great story.
It is. It's just, sadly, I feel like this is that story without like enough entertainment to it. Yeah, it's kind of just like,
it's like he learns
out
his
the
lesson.
Fucking scary shit.
He learns his lesson pretty early in the movie, and then he keeps learning it over and over again. And like they keep having the same conversation, him and Téa Leoni.
Yeah, the stuff between him and his wife is pretty good. The stuff between,
I agree.
I think like I don't know. I'm on the fence about it. Him and his kids, because it's like the one's too young to say anything, and like his daughter either isn't it enough or she just doesn't. Like, there's not a... I thought early on that there were going to be a lot of scenes of her, like, you know, you have to do this because you forgot to, you know, like that. But it's just literally, he bonds with her at one point, and then she's just kind of gone from the movie for a long time.
Yeah.
And it's like,
I did like how she knew that
the point of
he wasn't him.
Yeah.
Instantly.
But it's just kind of like, what's the point? It was like, there's a lot of, like, ideas thrown into this, but, like, none of them are, like, really... I don't know. Like, mainly, like, the whole thing of... Like, the one surprising thing they do is that, like, at the end, it's not like he gets everything he wanted. He gets, at best, like, a shot to reclaim his, like, wasted...
The most contrived, convenient way to redo the same choice he
had
to make.
Yeah, the end of that was, like, fucking, like, made zero sense, because I was like, if somebody came up to me that I had known long ago and, like... pretty much broke my heart, and they gave me this long speech about how, like, we have kids together and something, I'd be like, this person's crazy. Like, what the... Why would I randomly...
He's disturbed.
Yeah, I'm like, huh? So I guess, I mean, the whole... If people don't know, the whole, like, thing about this is, like, he essentially gets, like, helped by this, like, angel or demon or whatever, played by Don Cheadle, that's, like, robbing this store, and he, like, since you took, like, the... You know, he's like, since you helped me out, like, he's essentially going to give him whatever he wants. And he's just like, since he says he doesn't need anything, because he has everything in his life, he's like, you asked for this because he's going to show him, you know, a glimpse or a vision of what his life could have been like if he hadn't gone to London in, like, 1987 and stayed for an internship and left his girlfriend, which they never really expound upon why he just said, fuck this lady if he said he loved her. That was kind of, like, fucked up, because I was like, why didn't he just, like, go with her if it was that big of a deal, or, I don't know. But, like, in his other life, he actually comes back the next day to New York or whatever, and, which I was like, well, if that was an option, why didn't he just, I don't know. It's very thin, like, on why this, like, you know, like, in the Christmas Carol and certain things, there's, like, he has a girlfriend, and they drift apart, but it's because, like, you see over time he gets molded into this character, but you never see that Nic Cage being molded into this character. It's like one day he's like this family man, this loving person, and then like literally it cuts to like 13 years later and he's like, you know, money means everything, people are shit, you know, fuck love. And I'm like, what? Like, he's having one night stands, and I'm like, where is the character progression for this? And then when they show character progression for him, it's like, why does this character even earn this? Like, he's kind of a dick in this film, because, like, he throws this tantrum about him not having a suit he wants in the department store, and his wife's like, what?
Like, you suck, dude.
Yeah.
But I did like how and he wakes up like in his penthouse apartment or whatever, and he's with like a chick that he probably met the night before, and she was like, "Is that all the thanks I get for the night of hot sex?"
He's like, "Are you ready for one of my sensual massage?" It's like, hey, I'm always happy to see Don Cheadle. He was in this. He was kind of in a bit part though, which really didn't. I mean,
he's great. I did feel bad for that the only non-white character in this movie is robbing a convenience store.
Yeah, not only that, but he starts off robbing a convenience store. Then, like, they show him, like, you know, essentially having Nic Cage's job, like, in a Ferrari, which I was like, okay, this is... But then, like, the next time, I think you see him kind of at the end, and he's working at a convenience store, and I'm like, this guy, they literally couldn't get this guy to show up a couple more times. It's like, that would have been kind of, like, cool. Like, I mean, something, because I was looking for, like, something to grasp on here for, like, another cool character, but, like, Jeremy Piven sucked, like, John Cheadle's cool, but he was only in, like, a couple scenes as, like, kind of like the character from, like, you know, what's it called? Like, the movie with Jimmy Stewart or whatever. Like,
It's a Wonderful Life.
Yeah, It's a Wonderful Life. But, like, it's just kind of like, okay, well, why didn't you have him show up more? I mean, I don't know. Like you said, that was kind of like, what the fuck? Having him show up and be like, I have a winning ticket, and then instantly pulling out a fucking gun and being like, give me the fucking money, and I'm like, and then he's like, you're gonna die, white boy, and I'm like, is this really fucking necessary? Like, I don't know. Yeah, it wasn't legit.
A disappointment about this movie is it's not really a Christmas movie. Like, it is at the beginning, and then it stops being a Christmas movie.
Yeah, because it usually... movies that are set around Christmas, like, lead up to Christmas, or, like, with the Ghostbusters, they end up kind of, like, starting at Christmas and then go to New Year's, but you still have that feeling of, like, Christmas throughout the whole time. This is, like, they start his first day as a family man on Christmas Day, and you don't even see, like, anyone opening presents, and it's already over, and it's like, okay?
Yeah.
Like, it's just snowy out. It's like, cool.
The opposite of It's a Wonderful Life, which isn't a Christmas movie until the very end.
Right. A lot of films are
overrated film. There's my hot take for the...
I've never seen it.
Overrated.
You can't wrestle. It's like, what?
I think, for me, I think Nicolas Cage and Téa Leoni are awesome in this movie. I think they're great. It's just the movie they're in.
Yeah, I mean,
totally
like, they're
boring.
just doing whatever they can in this to, like, you know, survive.
But did you like them? Or one or the other?
I mean,
or neither?
I never disliked Nicolas Cage or Téa Leoni. It's just what they were in didn't really give me anything to like. So I wasn't like, you know, I didn't really like Nic Cage's character. Like, I felt bad for Téa Leoni's character because she was just like. I mean, there were parts where I was like, oh, he's starting to come around, but a lot of times it was just like, it was kind of unearned. Because he was kind of a dick, and then he was just like, I'm coming back. But I've never thought, you know, I'm never like, Nic Cage is fucking this up. Like, he, you know, his acting is great. The characters are not super interesting to... I mean, they kind of are, but they're also kind of like... They're mainly just put in a boring situation. Like you said, it's like very whelming. Like,
what do you think of the scene where Téa Leoni was flossing in the shower, but not her teeth?
I was like Nic Cage, like, I can't believe this was in a movie that was like
kids movie.
Yeah, like in theaters that like was essentially like a family movie. Like, yeah, it's probably the most like this is life kind of moment. And even, like, Nic Cage, like, his character, when he sees her, he's, like, shocked because they've been married for years, but he doesn't. He literally just, you know, yeah, that kind of a deal. My question, though, is, like, so this was, like, a vision or whatever? Did the other dude just die, or did he...
It's best not to think about it.
But it's, like... I was like, so this is probably an alternate timeline. Like, I just blew up. They had this random plot where, like... So, it's like... At first, you're led to believe that, like, Nicolas Cage's other life, like, him as a family man, he's, like, an awesome guy. But then, like, halfway through, they, like, kind of introduce this bullshit plot about him maybe thinking about having an affair with this random lady that's in the neighborhood. And he's
totally gonna do it.
I was like, this fucking movie sucks. I was like, this just makes no sense because it's like, I mean, nobody's perfect, but it's also like, his character flip-flops so many times in this film. It's weird. It's like,
It's like they've ordered scenes around.
It's just like the original character of like the Family Man, like his version. You would think he would not be doing that, but then it's like, oh wait, he's still the exact same person. He's still an asshole at heart. He's just a fucking guy in the suburbs now. So all that shit at the beginning of the movie about like I love you and I'll never leave you was bullshit on both accounts. It was like, okay. This part was hilarious though, where fucking she goes to like give him a fucking hors d'oeuvre and he's like, ugh. I was like, Jesus.
There are a few laughs in there. I liked the bowling scene when he sucks at bowling.
Yeah,
but he thinks he's like, doing great. That was funny.
Talks to dog. If you could take a dump sometime this century, we could go home where it's warm. And I was like, I've been there before. When I'm outside trying to take a dump on the lawn.
Not.
Yeah. I was pretty surprised when Nic Cage like changes the baby's diaper and it actually shows like fake shit in its diaper. It's like clearly like chocolate or something, but it's like this is legit shit. I was like, huh?
Gloves are off.
Yeah, I was pretty shocked. I was like, huh? I don't know, I'm just trying to see if there's anything else.
Yeah, I mean, when he's running through the airport, I'm like, dude, kill me. Like, come on. That's such a ridiculous cliche.
It's been in every romantic comedy movie of all time. Someone running to, like, at the last second, do something that no one in their real life would ever do. Like he gets, like, 10 no's and then,
original ideas? Like,
one shitty speech fucking turns her around. There's the infamous chocolate cake meme in this where he's like, I want that cake.
That's probably my favorite scene in the movie. Nice little minute of goodness. And 2 hours and 5 minutes
of hell.
Badness.
Yeah, you kind of see glimpses of Nic Cage, like he's watching his other self singing to his wife on her birthday. Mm-hmm. That's cool, but the problem is it doesn't line up with like how his actual character is, like his other character would act. So it's like, oh, he's gonna cheat on his wife, but he's gonna sing her this song that he loves her. It's like, it's towards a part of the film he starts to kind of like be like trying to meld his life, his family life, with like his life he used to have, and he's like taking her out to this nice hotel and like being like, he ends up like getting in good with like his old like boss because he like just so happens to blow out his tire and come to this specific like area. Like, what are the odds of that? Like, because he works at his father-in-law's tire place, Big Ed, and he gets hired by him, but then he turns down the job, and it's like, of course, Don Cheadle's working at the 7-Eleven, and he's like, I don't want to go back, and I was like, okay, like.
What about your boy Saul Rubinek from Warehouse 13?
Yeah, it was nice to see him in the film, but he played like a meek motherfucker, and then like he's the only one that actually made sense because in his other life, when Nic Cage wasn't there to like stomp on his fucking life, he became like the assertive like corporate guy, but he also like loved his family and he was able to become what he like for the better what he would have been if Nic Cage wasn't there, because in the the real world, Nic Cage stomps on his dreams and then keeps him from his family, and in this he's assertive, and in his office he sees his wife and kids all the time. He even has like a pen in there to be with his kids, and there's drawing like he has the best of both worlds in the other life. It's like, if you weren't here, the world would be better kind of shit.
If Nic Cage was dead, it'd be a better place.
For everyone, there's not like a single person that their life is like, because even his wife, like in the real world, like, yeah, she's like a successful artist or whatever, and it's like, she's just really legit, and he's like, yeah. Nic Cage ruined everything.
The actor.
Yeah. There was kind of a cool shot where like when because he's trying not to like go to sleep, and he's like, because he knows that if he falls asleep at this point, once it's done, and he's going back to his real life. And that part was kind of like, a bit melancholy and sad and stuff. And there's a part where he goes to bed, and when he wakes up, he's in his real life in his nice apartment stuff. And there's just like a shot of him kind of like back or front. I guess it's like backlit where you can't see his face, and he's all in shadow, and he's just kind of like, he looks like super sad and depressed in the dark, being returned to his like normal life. And it's like, oh, there's like 5 seconds of that in the film, throughout all these, where like here and there peppered through, where it's like this movie had something for like a minute or two, and then it like went back into coast mode.
Yep.
So they were like the director was on the interstate, and he put it on coast, and every once in a while he had to like rev up to like pass somebody, and then he put it right back in coast mode. So, but yeah, she's moving to Paris, and like we said, he's just like, we have a house in Jersey, we have 2 kids, Annie and Josh, and I was like, dude, saying this shit to somebody, like, what the fuck would they even think about it? Like, are you a mental patient?
It would be disturbing.
Escape? Like, what are you talking about? And then at the end, he's just like, Jesus Christ, I'm scrolling because this is like the longest speech in history. He's like, I choose us. Please, Kate, 1 cup of coffee. You can always go to Paris. Just please, not tonight. And then she says, okay. And the last shot is them sitting in an airport having a cup of coffee, like, while the credits come up.
I like that
on either side of them. And it was just like, okay, too bad now this is the end of the film. Too much wasted time in this on stupid shit that, like, wasn't entertaining, wasn't emotionally, like, good. Sadly.
Yeah, I agree.
Like you said, I think it was just kind of, like, mediocre at best.
Yep.
Like, I don't know, like, I can't believe this has so many special features and commentaries. It's like...
And sadly, at one point years ago, I watched all of them, but I couldn't tell you. So,
once it's over. Well, I started watching one of the commentaries with Brett Ratner, David Diamond, and David Weissman, and it was, like, some of the most, like, fucking
patting yourself on the back
shit I've ever heard. So I was like, okay, I'm done with this.
I'm done with talking about The Family Man, and I'm ready.
Yeah.
To become trapped in paradise.
Yeah, seriously. I kind of wish I had watched this second, because I was expecting The Family Man to be, like, for me, the winner, and be like, this is it, because kind of the way you had reacted last time, I thought that you meant that, like, you didn't like Trapped in Paradise. I was like, oh shit, maybe I'm remembering this bad when I was a kid. So I watched it first, and I was we'll talk about it, but, like, then I watched the other one, and was like... So, maybe you meant the other one. Yeah, Trapped in Paradise, starring Nicolas Cage, Dana Carvey, and Jon Lovitz, among many, people that you kind of see here and there in films and stuff.
As the Furpo brothers.
Yes. Yeah, I laughed, like, more than I probably should have at this film. There were so many stupid things that happened in this that I was just like... But it's like, at the end of the day, it was like it was nice to be at least entertained. It wasn't...
Yeah, I would say Trapped in Paradise is slightly more entertaining than Family Man. I'll give it that.
Way more. So... I thought this thing at the beginning was like... something that they were, like, a trick they were pulling to try to get this guy's wallet, but, like, it just so happened that, like, this guy dropped his wallet and it got kicked all the way down to the subway. I thought it was a bunch of people, like, working together in, like, a thief ring, but it wasn't. And on closer inspection, I was like, wait, what?
Random wallet.
But fucking Nicolas Cage, oh boy, shit. He's got kids, a dog, cat, shit. And then he, like, opens the wallet and he's like, and then he's like, no. I was like, dude, this fucking movie cracks me up.
So the reason why this was a 0 on No One's Seen It is because when it came out, it was a huge bomb, and I went back and checked, and it was only in theaters for 1 week.
Oh, yeah, I just remember renting it from Blockbuster when I was a kid, and I liked it then, so, like, maybe it was, like, I mean, there was a lot of, like, stuff in this that, as a kid, I'm sure I would have been like, this is awesome. Fucking, the critic talking about pterodactyls here and his parole. Like, I was like, what is this going on over here? Like, he's like, and therefore, and I'm like, huh? And Dana Carvey is having an orgasm thinking about fucking being a kleptomaniac. He sees this, like, brooch on this guy's tie, and he's like, ah. I'm like,
that was pretty. The pterodactyl scene was pretty funny.
Like, Dana Carvey,
like my winged brother.
Yeah,
Like, what is he
Dana Carvey needed. He fucking was out of control in this film. I was like,
I'm a big Dana Carvey fan, but I did not like him.
No, I didn't either.
He's horrible.
I did not like his, like, shit. When I liked him the most was kind of towards the end when he dropped all that shit and was just like doing a normal accent, and he wasn't like.
Probably everyone on set was like, shut the fuck up! Stop doing that!
Yeah, pretty much. I was like, he's just like, are we gonna get balloons? Can we? He's like, what are you, balloon? Or what do you want, balloons? Are you kids? Because they wanted to get, like, some shit when he broke them out. And fucking, like, within 5 minutes, they're running from the cops out of being out of parole, and it's just, they're like, yeah. I was like, yeah, one of my notes says, shut up, Dana Carvey. Nic Cage tricks cops chasing him. He's a cop. I was like, okay. He, like, pulls out his wallet, and he's like, I'm a fucking detective. What are you idiots doing? Get out of here. What? I don't know why this scene cracked me up, where, like, he's reading the mom's reading the letter or whatever, and she's like, if you don't go and do this or whatever, I'll rip off your head and shit down your throats. And he's like, oh. Like, he was like,
Nic Cage is great in this movie.
Yes. Also, like, I was like, holy shit, the Bat Boys mentioned.
Yeah.
He's like,
I knew you'd like that.
Bat Child found in cave.
I'll never forget seeing that on the shelf in, like, UDF or whatever, and being like, Arr!
Yeah, dude, they had surprisingly scary shit in there. Every once in a while I would get one of those, and I would, like, flip through it, and, like, one had this shit about, like, a ghost killing someone, and I was like, no, what's happening?
One had Bigfoot on it, and that was the first time I'd ever seen Bigfoot, and I was like, oh my god, monsters exist in the world!
Yeah, yeah, Bigfoot was like, I'm gonna fucking take off a bunch of, like, women and fuck them in this magazine. And I'm like, that was like every issue was like, if they were bored, they didn't have a story, it was like, Bigfoot made me his bride. I'm like, well, he had sex with you, or he, like, married you illegally? Like, a fucking priest goes out there and he's like, I'm fucking marrying these two.
You went past, since it was the 90s, there was a joke about the club, because that was in every movie. You remember that? Like the thing you put on your steering wheel to protect your car from being stolen.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, there were so many club jokes back in the day.
Yeah, I forgot. So, you want to talk about this part where, like, they go to paradise and they almost kill a actual fucking actor?
Dude, that was a wicked stunt, man.
Yeah.
Did you notice that?
No, but
he takes a header.
It looked pretty fucked up.
Face first to the concrete. I was like, whoa.
Yeah. But they almost kill this guy that's, like, essentially, like, kind of like the slow character in the show, and he's like the son of the sheriff.
The one slow character in this movie.
Well,
so I'm gonna get this out of the way.
Dana Carvey was probably the other slow character in this film.
I'm glad you had a good time with it. It's not horrible, but I think this movie is super dumb, and I didn't have a lot of laughs with it, sadly. I thought
you would like it because this is like straight up Baby's Day Out or something.
Yeah, but that movie has jokes. Like, this is a sitcom without the com. Like, it's just a sit. Like, there's no laughs in this.
Well, I don't know about that.
But I think Nic Cage is so good. Like, anyone else, this would have been like a career killer. Like, it's horrible.
Well, Nic Cage back then was doing all kinds of weird shit, so he still does.
Yeah.
But I think he can do shit movies, and, like, I mean...
Oh, yeah, for sure. He comes out of this smelling like roses. He's great.
I think the other movie's way worse than this film as far as, like, entertaining goes, but only because none of the stuff was, like... It wasn't, like...
Has some wacky.
Right. It was mainly, like, the kind of weird shit that I look for in a film that's, like, you know, like the weird ADR or, like... Just, like, the stupid shit here where, like, Nic Cage is wearing, like, those Christopher Lee Howling 2 sunglasses, but they're orange for some reason in this. Or, like, Nic Cage seeing, like, them bring in, like, a bunch of money to a vault, and he's like, we don't, you know, it's, first of all, like, you know, because they go to this town and, like, literally there's no security for this bank, and it's like the vault is wide open, and he sees like, well, there's not even any money here, and then right when he says that, like the fucking these dudes bring in like a fuck ton of money, and like they're like it's up to $47,000, and he's like
that was,
and I was like, what the fuck is going on here? But it's like
that was one of the 2 times I laughed in this movie. That was hilarious. But it's just the thing Nic Cage did. I'm sure, like the script is like garbage, dude. It's horrible.
Well,
there's just there's nothing clever about it. Every character acts in a idiotic way that's not funny to me at all. Like, I just thought it was really dumb.
Yeah.
But sometimes dumb is okay. You want to know what my other laugh was?
What?
When Dana Carvey was like, "Let's eat some scrap. It's got scallions."
You thought that was funny, but none of this other stuff? Yeah. There you have it.
That's just the way it is.
Yeah. I thought, since I'm a big Jon Lovitz fan, I liked when he was like holding up the bank and essentially telling everyone to like calm down. Okay, now we're gonna sing, and he's like, if you don't do what I say, you're gonna get fucking killed. And I was like, what the fuck? Why is he saying that? And then he had them all like doing yoga later,
singing his threats.
Right. It was more kind of like, I don't know, like, I guess small town kind of Andy Griffith stuff, because they had, like, the whole restaurant come to the bank because fucking they fucked up and were, like, they went to go rob the bank, but the fucking, like, vault was locked, and the bank manager was having dinner at the fucking restaurant across the way, so they went across the way and got him. And he was about to just leave with him, and then Dana Carvey, randomly, for whatever reason, as like the dumb character in the movie, one of the dumb characters said, well, what if these people like tell? And I was like, that's a good point, but like, why would his character say that? But like, he got him and brought up, but pretty much the whole, I mean, it's mainly like a lot of like sight gags like that, where like they're all like walking across, and it's like, just in broad daylight, a bunch of masked guys, nobody fucking noticed them because the town is so, like, whatever.
And then when this 3 random guys show up,
yeah,
like, the sheriff can't put it together, like...
Yeah, it's like, huh? What do you think about how Dana just fucking Dana Carvey drove off with him, like, 100 times after the robbery? I was like, what is wrong with this guy? Like, he's just like, here we go.
That was dumb.
Yeah. I do remember this when I was a kid, though, where it was like, he's like, I made 4 lefts, and he's like, 4 lefts is a circle, you idiot. And I don't know why that stuck with me through my entire life. Like, oh, well, yeah.
That's what
but it was just like, why the fuck? Yeah, they have a lot of stuff like, freaking the bank manager. Like, pretty much you learn pretty quickly that, like, the town is, like, essentially, like, a very giving place, and they don't want to, like, they don't want to, like, screw over anybody, because, like, I guess they are very forgiving or whatever. And he, like, gives them, like, his clothes, essentially, that his wife was going to give him for Christmas. And I was like, this is, like, it kind of reminds me of, like, Pleasantville or something, like those things where it's just like
they learn the valuable lesson that stealing is bad.
That's true. Dana Carvey pouring out giblet gravy on everything. He's like, yeah. I was like, what the fuck? I was like, fucking, there's this part where they go to get their tickets to leave. They're fine, because there's many times in this that's kind of like, this movie's kind of like Groundhog's Day, where it's like, in that movie it's stuck by like, paranormal. This is literally like outside forces are conspiring to like make it so they can't leave.
Yeah. They become trapped in paradise.
And trying to get on the bus, and like this lady pays for their tickets, and it's just another thing where it's like, oh shit, these people I can't believe we're doing this. And they're about to be caught, and Nic Cage pulls this guy's gun, and he shoots it, and he's like, oh my god, a gun! And then he, like, runs off. And I was just like, quit pressuring me, please! I was like, Jesus. Dude, the mom randomly reminded me of, like, my mom's mom, because she was, like, super foul-mouthed and stuff. She's like, you're doing me a goddamn favor. Anything is better than looking at you two gorillas and listening to your horse shit. You guys are dumber than a bag of hair. And I was like, what? A bag of hair? I've never heard that before. But it's like they put her in the fucking trunk, and I was like, damn.
Yeah, like the generic gangsters in this movie kind of reminded me of the ones from House Guest with Sinbad.
Yeah, that's kind of a thing where I was like, I don't think I've ever seen these guys in a movie before, or I was gonna say or since. Like, it's not the future.
Not even an episode of Sopranos.
But it's just like they literally couldn't afford like someone like big name a little bit. You know what I mean, for that part at least, because they got the dad from Step Brothers, right? Wasn't he like the
Richard
FBI
Jenkins?
guy? Yeah,
and the dude from Let Me In. Remember her familiar?
Oh yeah, nice.
He's been in tons of stuff,
and now he's in this after all these years.
The role he was born to play.
Dana Carvey gets swept into a river. Too bad his character didn't drown.
Yeah, no kidding, dude.
He's like, help! I'm fucking drowning. I'm like,
let him go.
Yeah. So did you catch this? I didn't send you anything about this, but you know, they bring him into the house and they're doing mouth to mouth on him, and he spits out water and he's fine. He says, "Who are you?" The guy says, "Fred," and he says, "Flintstone?" And the old guy says, "Yes." I said, "What?"
There's that.
So this is fucking a Fred Flintstone fucking origin movie,
dude,
or what?
FF Origins. Nice.
I was like, what? I mean, that could have been some fucking screwed up ADR, but like, if you're listening to this, the answer would never be yes, unless the guy's actual name was Fred Flintstone. Then that would be even more like, wait, what?
That's him. Yes.
Yeah. Who are you? Fred Flintstone. Flintstone? Yes. I mean, this was mainly the laughs I got was from ADR and shit like that. It's like, it was like that. I was like, huh? I'm going to confession. They don't have confession. They're Protestants. You kidding me? No. The way fucking... Dude, whenever he could, fucking... He went to town on this film.
Yeah.
Fucking Jon Lovitz with the fucking ADR. Because he did, like, you know, a lot of, like, voice work and other stuff. I mean, he was on SNL with characters, but it's like, he was like, no. And I was like, what the fuck? He's like, he's gonna make you goggle mayonnaise. No. Yeah, it's another part where they're like, hey, we're gonna steal a sleigh, and then, like, a horse goes into the ice that stops them, and they save it.
Didn't like seeing a horse struggle. That was
a
little upsetting.
I'm like, I would have liked to see it drown. Yeah, this was like
kick Dana Carvey.
Well, this was the most like out of no consequences, because it literally, the sleigh went in like a second and then it instantly was out. It was like, this was like totally kid style.
Yeah. Dana
Carvey's character is actually legit, or is he? He confesses the whole time that they were lying about him being chased by the cops. I think I meant to say he's legit. He came clean. Yeah, because I had to correct my notes post edit here in my brain. I go, what? He's legit. What the fuck was I smoking there? This part, he's like, he gets into the car with the gangsters, and his mom is in the trunk. And Jon Lovitz somehow from 50 feet away can see clearly that those are the fucking gangsters. Because he's like, no! And I'm like... But then later on, he didn't know it was them. And I was like, so you were just horrified he was getting into a car without you, even though he said you were going separate ways? Like, what? I don't know why I thought this was kind of funny. He shows he's like, yeah, my mom's so great. You know, I have a mom too. Yo, let's compare pictures. And he shows him the picture of his mom, and it's fucking the lady that's been pissing him off the whole time. That's in the trunk, and they're like pulling gun on him, and he's like, whoa, whoa. And I was just like, Jesus. Like, as soon as fucking he shows the picture, his fucking face, when they put a gun in his face, he's like, ah! I'm like, Jesus.
When that happened, and it was so contrived that he shows, like, his character decides to show a picture of his mom.
Yeah,
like, dude, come on!
Oh,
who wrote this?
I was cracking up. Great stuff.
And the dude who wrote it has actually written good movies.
Like this one. What'd you think of the point off over here? They were like, you, fuck you, no, it's you. And then fucking Dana Carvey like, does it, and they're like, what? I feel like if
in that... Oh, sorry.
No, you go ahead.
When that mom scene, I wanted him to be like, my mom's name is Martha. Why'd you say that?
The original. This part, let me do the cracking, you do the jacking. And I was like, Jon Lovitz is like, it's like, okay, so he jerks off. They left the money on the porch at a church. This guy's just like, what? It's like, okay. Which, I don't know why, man. This fucking shit, when they were like fucking return the money and they were like, yee, like frolicking, like fucking like children. How are you, Ma? I'm being held hostage on the night baby Jesus was born. What does it look like? I was just like, they gave all the good, like, funny lines to her to a degree.
Did you notice who the actor was that played the sheriff? Donald Moffat?
Yeah.
From The Thing.
Yeah, I was like,
I'd like to get off this fucking couch!
I was
and
like,
go to paradise. It's like 2 movies where he's trapped in a blizzard. Nice. Yeah.
A jizzard. Jon Lovitz wrote the BS letter, and all I can do is go, I was like, I don't care. Jon Lovitz was cracking me up in this film.
Jon Lovitz, FTW.
Yeah. Dana Carvey sucked in this, but Jon Lovitz and Nic Cage were bringing it for me.
I mean, if those 2 guys weren't in this movie, it would be unwatchable.
No, I agree. Yeah, because it would literally just be like an hour and something of like episodes of Andy Griffith Show, but without interesting characters.
Yeah. But I also did like Madchen Amick. She's like the daughter of one of the gangsters.
Yeah.
She's the one character in this movie that's not a total moron. Like, she knows what's going on immediately, and I liked her. But
she's just kind of generic. I didn't really have anything to think.
There's not much of a character there.
Yeah, I wasn't really like, she's so great, because she was just Nic Cage's fuck toy.
Toy?
I mean...
Is that all the thanks I get for a night of hot sex?
He's like, I'm like, but you know what I mean? Pretty much, she was in the film for him to fall in love with girl. Out of nowhere.
Yeah.
He sees her once and he's like, Nic Cage keeps saying liar, liar to Jon Lovitz. I was like, he's like, liar, liar. I'm like, huh? I didn't remember this, and I was kind of surprised. Maybe you saw it coming a mile away, but that the fucking sheriff's slow son saved the day. He fucking like knocks that one guy out, takes his gun, and shoots the other guy. And I was just like, what? Like, that was kind of interesting, but you know, because I was like, I didn't see that coming at all. Pretty much like, he's slow, but he like absorbed all the information. He's kind of like a Rain Man.
Yeah.
He was like a savant. He's like Wapner.
One thing I was admiring about this movie is like they really use either real snow or fake snow.
Yeah.
And it looks like really cool.
Yeah, the look of the movie actually makes you feel like
that would all be CGI
Christmas
now.
And like, you know very, I mean? Yeah. Like the people. Not the snow.
But it like, you can tell they filmed in some real cold locations. Like, just appreciate that stuff more and more.
Real cold.
Because it's all CGI now.
The 3-legged dog ran out of the house. We didn't do that, did we?
Tripod.
That's what they call Mini-Me. They do town covers for Cage, Carvey, and Lovitz. they're like, oh, these weren't the guys. They were wearing masks. And it's like, thank God, like, DNA didn't fucking exist really
or
back
cameras.
then. Yep. Because they would have been, like, fucked. Because Dana Carvey does produce the masks. So it would have been like, okay, test these masks. Like, we're fucked. Because it's essentially, it's all about the he said, she said bullshit. You're gonna be walking out of here with a fat lip motherfucker. It's like, Jesus. FBI guy has a stroke and just says, what? Because he was like, pretty much trying to pin him and he couldn't. And the best ADR of this film at the very end. I bought that. Tell him, Dave, I'm a blind man. Who's lying now?
And it's mixed like higher than it's the highest thing in the whole mix.
There was another thing at the very end where they're like pulling off, and it's like the mom and the brothers.
Yeah.
And he's like, "See you later, guys." You know, and that's ADR. But then, totally, that might not have been ADR. He might have said that on camera. But then you can hear them saying bye. And like a second later, they're almost already down the fucking... And he would not have been able to hear that, and no one outside the bus would have been able to hear that loud. It literally is like, you could hear it in your left ear. And I'm like, what? And then, for some reason, Nic Cage stays in town to be with this woman. And it's like, you're nobody till somebody loves you. And I'm like, now you're going to pull the fucking, like, mafia fucking music over here? But... I'm a blind man. Jon Lovitz bringing it on the ADR. Yeah, and somehow...
He earned his paycheck that
Dana
day.
Carvey not going fucking nuts on the ADR. He was, like, subdued as fuck. Maybe they had, like, a gun in his head, and they were like, don't fucking do that shit anymore.
If you try to ruin this movie anymore, you're done.
Yeah. Because they must have shot this movie in order, because he started off at, like, a fucking 20. And, like, they got him down to a fucking 18 at some point. Because they were like... Stop. Because he's doing this accent, but he's also, like, fucking... It's like he's mixing in all of his worst fucking characters together. And it's like, dude... He's like, chopping broccoli.
It's highly annoying.
Kill me! I don't know. I guess I don't hate Dana Carvey. I think he's good.
No, I'm a fan. Like, I love...
But I can't think of anything that he's been in where he was, like, super the lead and, like, the greatest thing besides maybe, like... The disguise, what is it, like the Master of Disguise or whatever.
Dude, oh my god.
Because, I mean, like, he's great in Wayne's World, but he's super subdued in that.
The Dana Carvey show, I remember we watched, like, all, like, 4 episodes before they pulled it off the air. I love that show.
Such a great show.
Yeah.
But, like, I like him, I just...
Yeah, I don't want to slam him.
He just kind of...
didn't work out.
I don't know. I can't really think of anything he's done that I was like, fuck yeah, like, movie-wise. I don't think he got as lucky as, like, Jon Lovitz or Mike Myers or some of these other comedians.
Although Master of Disguise is a masterpiece.
There you have it. If only Brent Spiner hadn't fucking ruined his career and actually done more comedy. Too bad his career's over.
Which is over. It's currently over.
He was like...
I think some of the stuff you've been talking about goes into this one thing I wanted to read from Roger Ebert's review.
Yeah, go for it.
As for Trapped in Paradise, it should be preserved in the Library of Congress as an example of creative desperation. It plays like a documentary about a group of actors forced to perform in a screenplay that contains not one single laugh or moment of wit or flash of intelligence or reason for being. I'm like, dude, he went hard on that take. But I think that plays to some of the things you liked him in the movie, is just the actors trying to do something to make it work.
I mean, I'd still rather have it be like that than something expertly crafted like The Family Man, but it ends up being like the most generic shit ever.
I agree with you on that one.
So,
I just wish it was
at the end of the day, I mean, like, Trapped in Paradise, I mean, all the characters in the town are like... They're all like Andy Griffith. None of them. There's no Barneys. There's no like, you know, standout characters. And I think that's maybe the biggest issue, is there's not enough like. But it's also like the main leads are the crazy characters, and I don't know. It's for some. I mean, your mileage may vary on how well that works. It's I have a feeling they were trying to do like a Three Stooges thing here, but like the problem is like mainly there's a lot of scenes where they're kind of not all working off of each other, and there's also like Jon Lovitz, I feel like just isn't in it. He's kind of like in it as much because since he's not like an idiot like fucking Dana Carvey's character, he's not being handheld. Like he doesn't have his only thing is he's like an expert liar.
Yeah.
Like Dana Carvey is like a fucking kleptomaniac, so fucking Nic Cage has to keep his eye on him 24/7. So it's like, you know, I feel like if they had all...
Yeah, I wish...
can't remember what I was saying.
Trapped in Paradise, like, I think it has some of the ingredients that could make it, like, a cult classic. I just wish it was better. Like...
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I like Nic Cage enough that, like... Even a bad Nic Cage movie is still good to me.
Yeah.
So remember last week when you picked this and you're like... I picked your least favorite Nic Cage movie. Yeah. I went back and checked.
Oh, like what your have you? Yeah. Did you rate them all or something?
Well, he's been credited in. Let me pull it up here real quick. He's in 116 movies, which I've seen the majority of them. And there's 2 that I like less than Trapped in Paradise, so it's not dead last.
What are they?
Trespass with him and Nicole Kidman, totally unwatchable. And Amos and Andrew with him and Samuel Jackson, which
oh my God.
I love those 2 guys.
Just that title.
It is really horrible. So yeah.
You know about Amos and Andy though, right?
Yeah. God, that movie is offensively horrible.
Is it like there's a lot of racial shit in it? Shocking! For a title with Amos and Andy.
It came out just, I think, same year as, or a year before this.
It came out a year before the actual Amos and Andy show came out. Yeah.
It's like the Beatles. Even a bad Beatles song is still good. Number 9.
I don't know about that. I guess that's not technically a Beatles song. Would you consider, like, solo shit Beatles stuff still?
Yeah. Why not?
The answer is no. Because then... if that's true, and number 9 is included, that's wrong.
It's on a Beatles album, technically, even if it was the workings of one madman.
That's true.
James Lennon.
He's like, Lennon, James Lennon.
This didn't happen to the other Beatles.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you got that right.
Yeah. You fucking hack. He's like, have you seen that thing where it's just like the 2 different songs by like Paul and like John, or it's just like the one's just like Christmas Day, Uncle Jim's in his favorite jumper, and the other one's just like it's Christmas Day, people are dying, go fuck yourself. It's like Jesus. Of course they didn't include my favorite. Come on, Christmas. Christmas, come on. It's like, why the fuck did you create like a rock like anthem like for a fucking Christmas song?
I was thinking this week because I heard. Have you ever heard the Elton John Christmas song "Step Into Christmas" or whatever?
I think like
you'd like
once
it.
a long time ago. But
because I heard it this week and I was like, I wonder if you're probably.
I'm a huge fan of Elton John. But yeah, I agree. I think like, I mean, I didn't hate it as much.
I didn't hate it either. It was. I agree with you. It was more entertaining than Family Man.
But it's like, I mean, that argument is kind of like, I mean, what kind of an argument is that to say, well, this isn't as bad as that? It's like, I mean, I guess it's on the same week, but it's also like, you know, as individual performances, I mean, they were both great. It was just...
Yeah, totally.
This one was boring as fuck. And, like, this one's, like, environment was, like, kind of boring, but at least, like, I felt like it was Christmassy and there were, like, funny ADR shit and, like, stupid reactions. Like you said, like, I think I agree that, like, none of the shit that was written in, like, the talking was funny. It was, like, the improv and the stuff by, like, Jon Lovitz and, like, Nic Cage or, like, their performances. But, like, I mean, there's a lot of movies that are like that or that are considered, like, masterpieces. Like, Harrison Ford's not saying I love you, but I know in Star Wars. It's like, that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. So,
yeah. Very true.
A lot of the Star Wars dialogue, I think, was talked about from, like, Mark Hamill being like, I can't say this shit. This is horrible dialogue. But, like, the movie turns out great. So, it's a collaborative effort to try to create a better product. It's just,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's your mileage may vary. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. But on the back of this DVD, it says, The Family Man is one of the best films of the year. Who said that shit?
Yeah, it was
fucking dumbass McCree or something.
NY1. Like, oh, NY1. Everyone knows what that is.
Whatever, that guy's somebody's fuck toy. NY1.
NY Fun.
Yeah. NY1, help me!
Should we do ratings?
Yeah, for sure. For sure, as opposed to not. Well, I guess the only one I haven't rated was Dragon Ball, since I was such a beloved thing to me that I just abstained. It's like, I can't, in good conscience, probably give this a great rating, but for myself, I can't shit on it.
For me, I'll go Family Man 5.95. Mm-hmm. I think I liked it slightly more than you, but I basically agree with all your points.
Hey,
And then
I am a god.
Trapped in Paradise, I'll do 6.95.
Nice.
Yeah.
I like that. I like this. I don't know.
You're like 1.
Yeah, well. Trapped in Paradise was like probably like a 6 or a 7 for me. I don't know, like Family Man was like, I think like a 3 for me because it was so disappointing. I thought it was like, I was excited for that one the most, but I was actually shocked more about how much more I liked it, or at least was entertained by an actual film. Mm-hmm. This was just generic shit that, like, I mean, it was a generic shit, but it was like,
dude, like,
it kind of was, because like you said, Brett Ratner just, I mean, he's the, what'd you say, the king of fucking mediocrity or some shit. It's just like,
also it was so long and boring, like, it got to the point where I was like, okay, this movie's about to wrap up, right? And I paused it, and there was an hour left, and I was like, how?
When I started this film, I was like, oh, well, that's, the time I saw, I was like, that's kind of, it's whatever. And then I started this one, and it said, like, 2 hours and 5 minutes. I was like, wait, this one's longer than the fucking Trapped in Paradise. How does that make any sense?
You could probably cut Family Man down to, like, 80 minutes, and it'd be a lot better.
Yeah, 5 would probably be better. It's like a skit. Well, it's essentially, like we said, it's literally like, I don't know. Just hold like a public execution of Jeremy Piven. I'll fucking watch that instead.
Didn't know you hated him so much.
He just sucks.
There's your hot take.
I don't think anybody likes Jeremy Piven except for his mom, maybe.
Put it on poll.
Maybe I should.
Do you like Jeremy Piven?
Nobody votes because they fucking hate him so much. He votes yes.
Alright, he's a new Buddy Shotz villain.
No, I don't hate him to the point I want to see him dead.
I don't have an opinion at all. Like,
I just think he's somebody that, like, is like, I'm an actor, but it's like he doesn't act. He's just himself. And I'm like,
limited range.
Yes, this isn't very entertaining to watch.
Alright, for next week, we're going to do a Piven double feature.
Well, I'm calling it sick.
So I'm picking a movie I've never seen, which has been a disaster in the past, but we'll see.
Trapped in Paradise 2.
I know very little about it other than it's a movie about a dolphin that's trained to assassinate the President of the United States. Day of the Dolphin.
So a documentary?
And then to pair with it...
Wait, I accidentally put Day of the Documentary.
Day of the Dead.
Okay.
Sequest, starring Roy Scheider.
Oh, okay.
Dolphin Week! The week everyone's been waiting for.
Trying not to give me a laugh over here. So let's talk about this Day of the Dolphin. Is this on like a Blu-ray or...
Yeah.
Or a fucking fish ray or what? Or
manta
a manta ray.
Dude, nice.
Do you have it?
I do.
Oh, jeez.
I've been waiting to watch it.
Nice. Is it like horror or what? You're like, no, it's funny.
I think it's drama.
When the fuck did this even come out?
1973.
What the fuck?
It's categorized as drama, sci-fi, thriller. Starring George C. Scott.
Oh, sweet.
Uh-oh, I don't see it's available anywhere. So you may have to...
Once again, you've done zero research.
I did not look that up, once again.
Shocking.
Starring George C. Scott and Paul Sorvino. Your boy.
Wait, what? No, I was looking at something... Day of the Dolphin... Oh, okay. For some reason, when I typed it in, I was just like, it's a book?
Is it based on a book?
Yeah. Day of the Dolphin novel by Robert Merle.
Nominated for 2 Oscars.
Now a major motion picture. Holy shit, I'm blown away by this. Never heard of this before, but we got George C. Scott looking old as fuck in a super short shorts. He should hang out with folks.
I guess subject to change if we can't find it available anywhere except...
It's a spine-tingling tale that might just come true. What? Might just come true? Are you fucking high?
Unwittingly, he trained a dolphin to kill the President of the United States.
Unwittingly? That's pretty impressive if you accidentally do something like that. What are you talking about? Oops, I fucking accidentally trained an animal to kill someone.
Directed by Mike Nichols, director of Working Girl.
Oh my god, this is a fucking Kino Lorber deal. So, oh my god, there's a... The fuck, it's got commentary.
Hell yeah.
Oh my god. Interviews with screenwriter Buck Henry and actors Leslie Charleston and Edward Herman.
The legends.
I'm sure, sadly, by the time they went to interview, they were like, "Oh yeah, George C. Scott's a fucking ghoul." Sadly, the legendary. I think a lot of people say he's like their favorite Scrooge.
I'd be one of them.
Well, you'd be wrong. It's Michael Caine.
It's Michael Keaton.
He's like, "You want to get rich? Let's get rich." No, I agree. He's pretty good. I think for me it would be between him and Michael Caine in the Muppets.
I agree. That's hard to top Michael Caine.
I'm like, fuck that. It's hard to top Henry Winkler. It's like another fuck up. This is legit the Kino Lorber classic. They're like, fuck it. I wonder if it's on their winter sale they're having right now.
Well, hopefully.
Like, hopefully not, because I don't want you to have a copy.
I took the last one. Gotcha!
Like, what was it? That one? You were just like, I own it.
Yeah,
yeah, you were like, I own it. And I was like, damn. Okay, well, I guess that's the end of this week.
Can't wait for Dolphin Week.
Hopefully you enjoyed our intro into the Christmas season, because we swim on through it into Dolphin Week with Day of the Dolphin and Sequest, a show that I kind of remember watching and never getting through the first episode back when I was a kid.
Uh-oh.
But
I remember watching the first episode. It was like, whoa, this is going to be the next Star Trek. And it wasn't.
I think, yeah, I'm pretty excited to try it again. Do you have it on Blu-ray and all that stuff?
I got it specifically for
Hell
this.
yeah, dude. Well, even though the month of December is here, not everything will be Christmas themed, just for you and just for us. I guess we'll see you guys next week in Dolphin Week. Watch out.
Bye.
I hope nothing
squeaks.
Or squeaks. Shit. This George C. Scott. Shit. It's got dolphins and George C. Scott.
You saw me pick it. Tell her, Mike.
I'm a blind man.
You're not.
Who's lying now? 9.95. Emotion is feeling so high. 9.95. In overdrive. Put your body in overdrive. 9.95.